You're getting groovy with Wargroove.
Exactly, groovy with War. So, Wargroove is from it's published by Chucklefish, and this is a game I've kept my eye on for quite a long time, simply because, like everyone else who has kept their eyes on this game, there is a love of Advance Wars, which was a tactics strategy game that came out on the Game Boy Advance. There was quite a few of them, but they were such good games. And I'm not a strategy guy, really.
No,
it's
I'm
not
not
my
either.
it's not my thing. But Advance Wars I absolutely loved. I don't know what it was about it.
So
but
it's
it
the
was...
same people, sorry, that made.
No,
Wargroove?
it's completely different people. But it is inspired by Advance Wars, but it's, I think at right down at its basic level, it is, but it evolves to be so much more. So just for sort of clarity, I've not finished the campaign yet, because I only got code yesterday, the day before. So I'm only halfway through Act 3. I'm not sure how many acts there are, again. But it's, you take charge of a little army. So you've got your different type of people. You've got like archers, you've got swordsmen, you've got pikemen, which are these people with really big pikes.
Pikmin.
I've started getting teams or squads that have got like magical abilities. You've also obviously got commanders who are very, very strong, and obviously your opposition have got these different types as well, and some types perform better against others. So for example, there's these flying creatures that I've just encountered from the enemy, and my swordsman can't hit them at all, but then my magic...
They can't reach them.
Exactly, they're a bit short. The swords are also short,
Yeah.
but then my magic people can hit them.
Okay.
So there's stuff like that. So you're constantly weighing up during your turn where not only like where you need to move them, but what you need to do next. You really need to think 2 or 3 steps ahead.
So can you see like the whole level when you go into it? Or
Depends. Early on,
is that like a strategy thing as well?
yeah. So early on, where it's really similar to Advance Wars, you can see the whole map.
Mm-hmm.
You can see the enemy deployment. You can see where your guys and girls are, and then kind of plan from there. You know, you can take bases throughout. If an enemy's got a base, you can destroy the base and then take it for yourself and earn money and then buy more and get more out of the battlefield and blah 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 blah. But as the game progresses, you end up getting to levels where you can't see much further in front of you. So a level in Act 2 teaches you to send the dogs up to the high mountains because they'll be able to see further, and then you can unlock more of the map and see further. Once you do that, you can then see the enemy position. But if the enemy's in the darkness of the map, you have no idea what they're doing. So it's really, really good. One problem I've had with it so far, and it's not just myself, I've seen online a few kind of queries about it. Well, I guess there's 2. One, you can't save mid-match, and some of the...
That can be a problem sometimes.
Yeah, and some of the acts can potentially go on for 30, 40, 50 minutes. So, okay, let me correct myself here. If you leave the battle, like completely come out the game, turn the switch off, when you come back to the switch, it will start you off from there. So that's fine. Okay. But what you can't do, if, for example, I've got my enemy deployment here, I want to take a risk and try whatever, but it doesn't work, you can't save before you take that to then kind of retroactively go back. Yeah, it's kind of all or nothing.
Yeah. That's not so bad.
It's not so bad, but...
It would be nice to be able to play that tactically.
Yeah, to see how it plays out, or if you want to replay the battle a different way, see what would have happened.
Yeah.
They've a lot. Do you
know if at the end it will let you play them all or again or?
Yeah, you can replay. You can replay them.
You can replay
yeah, because you've got ranks and you can go for 3 stars in each one and all that sort of stuff.
Okay.
But I don't know if that will come later on in a patch. There's probably a big enough request for that. But the other thing that's really struck me so far, and maybe it's because I'm just not experienced in these types of games, but there are other people who have played this who said the same thing. There's a really harsh difficulty spike quite early on in the game that I found. So you go from almost straight into Act 2 into a situation where enemies not messing about at all, and early on in this mission you can't really get to the place to take over to then get more deployment straight away. You've always got to take out the first wave of the enemy stuff. Then you've got a couple of turns of breathing space, but you can only buy one sort of squad for each turn. And then by that time, the enemy's coming after you and all that sort of stuff. And I had to replay that mission. That was the first mission where I couldn't see that far either, and I had to replay that about 3 or 4 times before I managed to do it. But I think a little bit of that is probably my inexperience with these games. But I like the character. It's got a good charm to it. There is a story behind it.
Is the story important though? Like, would you play it without the story? Do you think?
I would play it without the story. I think you need a story. It's, you're part of a kingdom. Your king's just died, and I don't think they actually refer to her as a princess, but the would-be daughter to take over the throne is now leading this charge and all that sort of stuff. And so far, I've
Is
met
that who you're playing as, basically? Like her troops?
Her and her troops, yeah. You don't always play as her in battle. There's other people who will lead. There's one of the side missions where the actual lead commander is actually the dog.
Okay.
So,
Different.
Yeah, just a wee bit. But
so do all the acts have different kind of things that you have to do? So obviously you said different people lead those.
I mean, the mission goal isn't always to take out the opposing side. I've had one where I've had to chase a ghost.
Okay.
Around an area. I've had one where I've had to evacuate people from the map, civilians. Most of them are take out such and such, or take out the big enemy base or commander or whatever. That in general, that's the thing. But that's fine. That's kind of what I'm there for.
That's
but
what you're expecting. So.
Yeah, I really like it so far. I hope the difficulty doesn't spike further.
You might be in for a challenge.
Yeah, otherwise I might not finish it. But I really love it so far. It's a game that I've been looking forward to for quite a while. And
yeah, you've been banging on about it for ages.
Yeah. I mean, I've played it at a few of the trade shows as well,
Yeah.
so I've been aware of it for a long time. I knew what it was going in, and so far it's not disappointed me. Wargroove is a really, really good game. No, it's also a very cheap price. It was £15. So
is it in the indie sale at the moment?
No, it's not in sale or anything. But I look at some of the other indies like Dead Cells that came out last year, and that came out at £30.
Yeah, it did.
Some of the
I do think though, a lot of the indies have become cheaper. Like when they've been releasing over the last couple of months.
I almost feel like with the indie games, we're getting to a point where there's 2 different types. There's obviously the first or second time kind of indie developers who are releasing a game and trying to undercut some of the others and trying to find an audience, but who are looking for cheap games. There's nothing wrong with that. And you've also got this more high profile type of indie developer. So, for example, like Matt makes games with Celeste. He's had a track record before. Dead Cells. Wargroove's a little bit different because that's kind of acting on a massive desire for an Advance Wars game.
Yeah.
But again, it's
been on people's radar.
Yeah. And it clearly looks like it's got maybe this is because they've done an amazing job, but it looks like it's got a bigger budget than most other normal type indie games. Because the presentation and the graphics and how everything's come together is fantastic. So maybe I'm doing them a disservice there. But it looks like we've almost got this fraction between the indie developers themselves. But what do I know?
Yeah. Like the indies and then the indies, almost.
Yeah. We'll see.
No, it's interesting, isn't it, though?
Yeah, but
like the price differences there at the moment.
Yeah.
Is Wargroove just on the Switch, or...?
This is interesting as well. It's on the Switch. It's on, I believe it's on PC. It's on Xbox. It's not on PS4 as of yet.
Okay, is there plans for it to be?
There are. I think it's something to do with the crossplay. Because Wargroove is crossplay between those 3, but not PS4. So I don't know if
have you done some crossplay stuff yet?
No, I haven't. No, I haven't.
Not good enough yet for that.
Got it on my handheld Switch. But I like playing Wargroove in both TV and handheld.
Which is what we were discussing.
Yeah, on the handheld you can kind of choose whether you want to see the whole map or you want it zoomed in, which is nice. It's got some really good options actually as well. So
sounds good.
Good game. I'd recommend Wargroove.